A lot of this work that we're even talking about is based on the fact of what I had to learn within church. So I'll start off like this. How many of you all get phone calls, probably from your members, them needing your help to pay their bills?
All the time.
This is really the start of what I want to talk about with this work. We can even talk about just the fact that people in Memphis are paying about 25% of their paychecks, which really means that they're paying $300, $400, $500, $600, $700 just for MLG and W. We're also not even talking about some of the simple stories that I've heard where people need a lot of their medications or need certain machines in their houses. But because they're making a decision between what machine that they have to use within their house, which is medication, or having to pay their bills as far as their lights, sometimes they're not able to pay the full payment and their whole house gets shut off as far as their water and their gas and electricity. And this is very important to a lot of them, regardless if that might be some of the mothers of this church, some of the deacons, that if the electricity is out in their house, the machine that they're using is not able to work. Therefore, they die. So this is not only just an issue that we're talking about with electricity, we're also talking about health issues. And not only that, it really plagues our community, the black community, the most when it comes to a lot of these issues. For us, this is not only just an energy issue, this is also a black issue. And I'm very unapologetic about the fact that this is a black issue for us, and we want to make sure that our people are being taken care of. So with this work, when people talk about renewable energy or they talk about climate change, it's very easy for them to just assume that we're talking about polar bears, or that we're talking about going to some place where there's these people that's doing policy work. But when I'm talking about climate change and I'm talking about renewable energy, I'm talking about literally the 6 or 7-year-old black boy or black girl that has asthma. And their parents are having to decide about how much that they're trying to get as far as medication. This is how serious it is for us. Or we can even talk about foot homes here in Memphis, where it was over a chemical bayou that literally they built a housing project over something that they put chemicals that was literally hurting a lot of the people in our area. We can even talk about some of the stuff that's happening in Smoky City, where you had this big industrial plant that was blowing smoke into the neighborhoods, and how much that makes us sick. If we're going to talk about the diabetes issues, if we're going to talk about all these health issues that we have in our communities, we're going to have to think about what are some of the health issues that we have when it comes to our people. Yeah. And so because of that is why we started this campaign called Save Energy, Save Dollars. And what I'm going to do is, Sydney, if you have a chance, I know you're eating. If we get somebody to pass this information out, it'll show what the Save Energy, Save campaign dollar is about. So one piece of paper is just showing what we mean by Save Energy, Save Dollars. The other piece of paper is going to literally show you the 2 steps and the processes of what it means for the Save Energy, Save Dollars campaign. So the Save Energy, Save Dollars campaign that we're doing here in Memphis, Tennessee, we're doing it as a coalition group of not only business people, not only community organizers and activists, but also faith leaders, Baptist pastors, to be able to say back to the rest of our city council that, hey, we want to make sure that our houses are being taken care of too, especially if we're talking about paying $600 and $700 bills. How do we make sure that we lower those bills? And some of the ways that we need to think about it is, I know that MLGW is talking about a lot of the infrastructure work that needs to be done. But a bigger part for us is that we want to think about it like this metaphor. If you're using a bunch of energy, or we can say it another way, if you're putting gas into your gas tank and your gas tank has a hole in it, what good is it to continually keep on pumping gas into a gas tank that has holes in the gas tank? It just means that you're wasting a lot of energy and you're probably not going anywhere too far. And so the same thing with what we're talking about with this campaign is that even though we're talking about MLGW has a lot of work that they need to do infrastructurally, we want to also make sure that it does no good to have good infrastructure when houses of people is not being able to make sure that in the summer times that they're making sure that the air is cooling their house, and in the winter time that it is heating the house. We have many houses that have holes in them, that the windows are not there, and a lot of the heat and the air in these houses are just getting out of the houses, and people are continually paying bills left and right, and they're not even able to get the air or the heat that they need within their house. And so what our campaign is here to talk about with the Save Energy, Save Dollars is the first piece that you will see on that one-pager. It shows you in step 1 that people that come from the city would be able to knock on doors and they would say, hey, we would like to come into your house and to make sure that the energy in your house is working properly. So they would check hoses, they would check your HVAC, They would check your windows. They would make sure to check everything so that the heat and air actually stays in your house and is not going outside of your house. The step 2 of that process is, let's just say you need a new HVAC. Based on this program, you would be able to get the HVAC that you need. Now, this does not come at any extra cost to us as residents. This comes from the money that we already have as citizens within the city. The whole purpose of what we want to do is push to the city that if our homes are not healthy for us, if they're making it to where our bills are so costly that we're not able to pay for our bills, how are we making sure to do this? So this comes at no upfront cost. But the only way that we can do this is that we want to make sure that we're pushing back to the city to say that this is an important program. So we've already talked to MLGW about this program. They actually have the program in place. The only thing is that they actually need to get the funds from the city to be able to do that. And the people that are able to do that are our city councilors. Sidney, you don't mind coming up here just a little bit just to talk about, I'm sorry I keep on making you get back and forth while you're meeting.